Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Davide Panozzo. I'm a blues artist and also the founder of GUITARlab, a modern blues guitar academy online, and welcome back to a new free class open to everybody for the new series Blues Guitar Essentials live on my YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday and Friday 10:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Rome time. Okay, and in this series I'm discussing all the guitar stuff related with the blues guitar, and I'm gonna be talking about all the things that I feel are important to help you guys out to level up on this beautiful instrument, on the blues and beyond genre. And in the previous classes we discussed about a lot of stuff. Actually, we discussed about fundamentals, chord progressions, scales, how to create simple blues licks. So a lot of stuff. We did 7 classes already, and you can check the previous one here. I'm gonna post a link later. But today we're gonna dive into another special topic, which is improvisation. Okay, so we're gonna talk about how to improvise and starting to get everything together. Okay, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to write a comment below. But also, if you're watching the recording of the class, you can always hit me up in the mail below. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, here it is. Okay, you can find it here. Okay, you can shoot me an email at davide@davidepanozzo.com, and I'll be happy to help. And if you haven't done it already, please go and check out the GUITARlab, Modern Blues Guitar Academy online. And by the way, in the description below, I created a quiz that is going to help you out to understand your level on the guitar. So it's fun, free, and once you did that, I'm going to send you out some free classes as well, tailored on your level. So super fun. Okay, so let's start diving into the topic. Okay, so improvisation. Okay, so improvisation, it's really important for the blues genre, but also in music it's really important. So just to do a very quick recap. Okay, so we discussed about blues progression. Okay, so we talked about basic 12-bar blues. So let's recap this topic. So the blues progression is the basic of the blues, right? And it's based on a progression, the 1, 4 and 5 progression. Okay, so first is gonna be, for instance, C 7th, F is gonna be the 4th, and G is gonna be the 5th, right? And this is the basic thing that you really need to understand and keep in mind when you want to have a certain level of awareness in your playing. Okay, because you can always improvise playing the scales, right? So up and down the neck, but in that way it's not gonna be much musical, right? As I showed you before in the class where we discussed about how to create basic blues licks, it's all about thinking about the scale as a perspective. Okay, so you need to obviously understand the scale, the intervals, and also the fundamentals to create the basic licks. But right after that, you have to keep in mind that the context is always given by the chord. Okay, so really important. So let's play a jam track with a blues in C, and try to follow the chord changes. Okay, so this is the real deal to improvise at a certain level. Okay, so try to understand when the chord is changing, and try to feel the one that goes on the 4th, that goes back on the 1st, and then it goes back on the 5th. Okay, so let's hear that, and I'm gonna show you guys where the chords are going. Okay, so C, which is the 1st, right? And then it goes on the 4th, and it goes back on the 1st. right? And this is called quick change, by the way. So once again, the progression doesn't stays on the 1, but it goes like 1 4 1, and then it goes back on the 4 again. Okay, so this is called quick change. But once again, let's do it one more time. Okay, 1 4, and then 1 again, right? So it's gonna be C7th, and then it goes on the 4, F7th, and goes back on the 1st, C7th, and then it goes to the G7, the 5 chord, and then it goes on the 4, F7, and then it goes on the 1, C7, okay? Turn around, and then we wrap up the blues progression. One more time, okay? So C7, F7, and then C7 again. Then it goes on the 4, F7. So even if you are hearing a lot of chords movement, it doesn't matter, it's still 3 chords playing. Okay, so C7. Then it goes on the 5, G7. And then it goes on the 4. And then it goes on the 1, okay, on the C7. Okay, so this is really important, guys, because most of the time we know what a blues progression is, but we really don't care about it when we improvise, right? So instead we should, okay, when I'm playing, I'm aware all the time of the chord progressions. Otherwise, I cannot level up my playing, okay? I can just be stuck in playing the pentatonic build on the 1 chord, right? It could work, okay? I can always play C minor pentatonic. We said before when we talked about the scales that we always have to bend the minor third up to the major third, right? Remember that? But I can do that, but it's gonna be, you know, probably too simple, okay? So once again, you always have to be aware about the chord progression. And once you did that, we can do a lot of stuff. Okay, so today we're gonna just talk about a couple of things that we can do for the improvisation, okay? And we're gonna do a more advanced class later in the next few weeks, but it's really important. This is really important. It's that foundation of improvisation, okay? So let's talk about minor pentatonic, okay? So we always think that the key to level up our playing is related to the number of scales that I know and I can use. It's not like that, I assure you guys. It's more about the awareness that I have on chords, and also how to manage the relationship between chords and scales. Okay, so if I am aware of chords, I always know what scale I can use on that. Okay, so of course we can always play C, as I was saying before. We can always play C minor pentatonic, right, over C7, right? But as I discussed about the chord in the previous classes, we have a C7, which is a major chord, so we have the major third, right? So even if I'm playing a C minor pentatonic, I can always have to bend the minor third up to the major one, right? And I can always do that all over the fretboard. So if I'm playing here, right, over here, So and this is what I'm gonna do on C7. But what about when I'm playing on the 4 chord? When I'm playing on a 4 chord, the first thing that I want to do is underline the root of the chord. So my suggestion for this level is to still playing C minor pentatonic on the 3 chords, but thinking about the chords itself, you can always underline those playing the roots when you are improvising. Okay, so in this way, when I'm playing on a C, I can probably land on the root of C, right? When it goes on the F, I can still play C minor, but I would underline the root of it, so F, right? It's still C minor pentatonic, but I'm landing on the 4th, right, on F. The same thing happens when I go on the G7, right? So I can still play C minor, but I land on G. Right? And in this way, guys, I'm more aware of the harmony, and my playing, it's totally different. Because even if I'm not playing over a jam track, you can feel, you can hear the chords, right? So for instance, if I'm playing something like this, okay, and I bet that you can feel, you heard the chords, right? Because every time I was thinking about C, and in my mind I was running the 12-bar blues progression, right? So C, F, C, okay, and so on and so forth. So when I was landing on the C, I would land on C, right? When I was landing on F7, I would play F on my lick, and when I was landing on G, I would play G, right? So it's simple as that. So C. So if I have to play over F, I would play something. So it's obvious, you can feel, you can hear, it's F, right? And if I have to play over G, right? As simple as that. But this is crucial, guys. It's gonna take you to another level if you're starting thinking about chords first and then scales, lick, and whatever. Okay, so we discussed about how to create licks, basic licks from scratch, right? And as I showed you before, basically you have to, in this way, think about the chord itself, C7. Think about the chord that you want to use, C minor pentatonic with minor up to the major one, and then I can blend the notes of the scale with different fundamentals, right? So I can play slide, vibrato, I can play bending, legato, I can play triplets, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So So the scale is this, but I'm embellish it with all the fundamentals that I discussed to you before in the previous class, and also I'm thinking about chords, okay, which is the new topic, okay. So now let's talk about, let's go and play on the jam track, okay, and we'll try to get used to the sound and also the chord progression itself, okay. So it's really important to always keep that in mind, okay. Chords first. So I'm not sitting at the table without chords okay, so that's the condition. So if you want me to play, let me know chords. That is to be your condition where you're playing the blues in a more modern way, right? So let's play something on the jam track again. So once again, let's go from the very beginning, okay? Guitar cam. Okay, so and so on and so forth. So of course we can add more stuff, okay, but my first piece of advice on this topic is to gently add more stuff once you digested everything, okay. So go back and check all the previous classes so you can definitely put everything together step by step, okay. Of course, you can play more than one pentatonic, okay? As we discussed in the previous class, we can always do a mix, okay? So let's talk about this. So the mix, the minor pentatonic, major pentatonic mix, it's really easy to do if you think about intervals, right? So basically, when you think about a minor pentatonic, you can always have these intervals: root, minor third, fourth, fifth, and minor seventh. When you talk about C major pentatonic, you have root, 9, third, fifth, and sixth, major sixth. Okay, so basically, if you add the 9, the major third, and the sixth on the minor pentatonic, you have a perfect mix between minor pentatonic and major pentatonic, right? So over C minor, I can add the 9, the 6, and the major one, major third up to the minor third up to the major third, right? And I can do the perfect minor major pentatonic mix. But the same thing happens all over the fretboard, right? So you can always so I added the 9, the major up, the major third, and the 6th. Okay, so basically you have to add the E, the A, and the D on the minor pentatonic. Okay, so I encourage you guys to work on this all over the fretboard. But what happens when it comes the F and the G? Well, you can do the same thing. You can always play a minor major pentatonic of F over F, right? You can always do that. And the same thing happens when it goes on the G. You can always play, right? So it's not always the case to play 3 different scales in your improvisation, but it might happen, and it's something that you can do, of course. But I strongly encourage you guys to add the 3 scales or also the minor major pentatonic mix after you digested the first part. Okay, so following the chords and underlying those, playing the roots of every chord. Okay, so that's the first step if you want to get a more modern and awareness in your playing, right? So that's my piece of advice. But let's check this. Okay, so I'm gonna play minor major pentatonic on every chord. So let's see what happens. Minor major over F, minor major over C, minor major over G, minor major over F, minor major over C, minor major over C, minor major over F, C, minor major over F, minor major over C, minor major over G, minor major over F, Alrighty, but as you might have heard, there's a lot of stuff involved, right? So it's not just about the scales that you are using. The most important thing is to put the context below, so the chord. So I always have to be aware of what is going on the harmony, okay? Because if I had different chords, my choices would have been totally different, right? Different. So that's the first thing. Definitely think about chords, and then we're gonna talk about scales, what scales I can use, and so on and so forth. Okay, but I would add something. So the story that you have to tell, it's really important. Okay, so the storytelling is one of the most important things that you have to keep in mind. So don't think about the number of scales, okay? It's not about that, okay? Even if mine sounds cool, okay, but it's not that puts you on another level, okay? It's always a matter of creating the background to build up storytelling, a nice storytelling over the blues chord progression, okay? So in the meantime, I can see Agner. Hey Agner, how are you? Magic, thank you. And Edison. Hey, how are you? Good to see you guys. Thank you for watching. Amazing class. Thank you, Edison. Thank you so much. So let's try, before I say goodbye, to follow the chords, play the fundamentals, so slide, bending, vibrato, okay, all the stuff that we discussed in the first class. And once again, if you haven't done it already, please go back and check all the classes, okay? We have a lot of informations that we really need to level up our awareness on the blues playing, okay? And I'll try to create also dynamics, okay? We're gonna dive into dynamics on the next class actually, but it's always interesting to once again build up a nice storytelling, okay? So I have a lot of tools that I can use already, but also I don't want to say everything on the first two bars, right? And that's the mistake that I always hear around, okay? So it's always a matter of build up your soloing, okay? So try to think about that. So chords first, what scale I'm gonna use, what fundamental I'm gonna use, and then little by little I'll try to create a more a nice dynamic up until the highest dynamic, where the drummer move himself from the hi-hat to the right, and you can feel that the dynamic goes up. So we really need to push our sound. And another feedback that I would like to give you guys is to definitely work on your pedals, okay, in this direction. So put some drive on your fuzz or your overdrive or your distortion pedal, and then try to clean it up with the volume, okay? So I'm starting really low, like it could be like this. So around 6, let's say that. Right? But I can always go up. And as you can hear, as I turn the volume up, the sound opens up, and also I'm gonna have more gain, so I'm not forced just to switch from the neck pickup to the bridge pickup when I hear the highest dynamic, okay? I can always use, and I do this all the time, I can use the bridge pickup from the beginning up until the end, and I work on dynamics in a different way. But once again, we're gonna dive into this topic in another class, but I'm gonna do another improvisation before I say goodbye, putting everything together, okay? I'll try to play and to stick around the stuff that we discussed so far, okay? So let's see that. bring up the volume. So as the dynamic goes up, I need more gain. Landing on the F, landing on a C, minor major, landing on the F, landing on C, landing on G, landing on F, and landing on C. More dynamic, more gain. C. Landing on F. F minor major. C. F. C minor major. G minor major. C minor major. All right. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, so that's it for today, and thank you for watching this new free class for the Blues Guitar Essentials series. So once again, today we discussed about improvisation, we discussed about the blues progression, 12-bar blues progression, how to use pentatonic, how to underline the chords of progression, how to use fundamentals, how to use dynamics. Lot of stuff in 30 minutes class. Hope you guys dig it, okay? Okay, guys, so thank you for watching once again, and if you haven't done it already, please go and check the previous one, and I see you guys on Monday for a new class, okay, of the series Blues Guitar Essentials. But once again, if you haven't done it already, please go and check my academy on GUITARlab.academy. You can find the English version and the Italian version. You just go on the website, and on the upper right you should have 2 flags, okay, for the version, okay. And also, if you have any question, just feel free to shoot me an email at davide@davidepanozzo.com, okay. And in the meantime, have a great weekend, and think about it. Practice, practice, and practice. Hope to see you guys later, okay? Bye.